Star Wars Outlaws is the upcoming action-adventure game from Ubisoft Massive, and recently I was given the opportunity to play Star Wars Outlaws early, and now that the PC gameplay trailer and the official specs have been revealed, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. The gameplay on the screen is actually my own gameplay of the PC version from an earlier build of the game, so take that into consideration when you're watching. Now, another thing is this gameplay recording session that I did, the footage was only 1080p, however, they gave me 4K gameplay, which I'm guessing is also of the PC version, but it could be from the console version as well, but I wasn't able to get clarification for that, so some of the gameplay B-roll is 4K footage, and then the gameplay that I took was in 1080p. Now, additionally, Ubisoft revealed their post-launch plans for Star Wars Outlaws, which included a full roadmap, and some of it was pretty exciting. We have a lot to talk about, guys, so check the video chapters for easy viewing, and let's get into it. One of my favorite things to do is chill on the couch and play games on my Steam Deck. I've currently been replaying Dragon Age Inquisition, and needless to say, the vibes are immaculate. Well, thanks to today's sponsor, Raycon has made that experience even better with the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. Their new upgraded model now features active noise cancellation, so I can completely immerse myself while gaming. The upgraded Everyday Earbuds offer everything you love about Raycons and more. On top of the active noise cancellation, they have an ergonomic design and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair two devices at once, so I can go from my Steam Deck to my phone easily. Raycons are available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any skin tones. I personally have the black Raycons with the Galaxy protective case, and these are the most comfortable earbuds that I've used. I don't have to worry about earaches or earbuds falling out. It genuinely is a good experience. If you've been wanting to check out Raycons, there truly is no better time. Their upgraded model will blow you away and question yourself why you didn't pick them up sooner. Click the link in the description box or go to raycon.com/west to get 20% off your Raycon purchase, plus you get free shipping. So as you know, Star Wars Outlaws is slated to release on August 30th, which is right around the corner, and you play as a new character named Kay Vess, a scoundrel attempting to pull off one of the biggest heists in the history of the Outer Rim. Now, the story takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but even though it's set during the original trilogy, you shouldn't expect any help from the Rebel Alliance. Now, obviously, you know that the Rebels were dealt a pretty harsh blow at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, meaning the Rebels were off recouping and planning for their assault that takes place during Return of the Jedi. So essentially, the Empire has more or less complete control of the galaxy. However, there are various criminal syndicates getting more aggressive about challenging their authority in the absence of the Rebel Alliance. Plus, the game takes place in the Outer Rim, which canonically speaking is a pretty lawless land to begin with. The gameplay is third person with combat scenarios that you can take multiple approaches to. You could go in stealthily, you can also go in guns blazing, and there will even be branching dialogue options that will influence the state of the world and your relationship with various characters and factions, with the iconic character Jabba the Hutt being a major part of the story. But in the spirit of allowing you to make your own story, it's been confirmed that you can betray him if you're feeling like a bold one. Now, every environment in the game will be fully open world, but the missions will take place in more contained areas, similar to the structure of The Division 2. And as I said before, these missions will have plenty of different approaches available to the player. Now, one sentiment that I've seen quite a bit is that the entire game is just a stealth-focused experience, like you have to go stealth or you're just gonna fail. But that is far from the truth. Funny enough, there was a section where I wanted to be stealthy for the entire area, but I was forced to use my blaster to progress. I would say that for the 4 hours that I played, I did about half of it stealthy and then the other half just straight up guns blazing, which was a pretty fun experience. Now, time between missions will be spent going from planet to planet or zipping around the surface on your land speeder, but remember, if you have bad reputation with the ruling authority of a specific area, you will have to stay hidden, or if you get caught, then they'll arrest you and just send you back out of the area that you were caught in. Now, what I actually liked is your reputation will actually follow you from planet to planet, and word of your decisions in major missions and with different factions will travel around the galaxy and impact what happens to you next. Now, in addition to that, there's going to be space combat and dogfights as you go from planet to planet, so just be mindful who you've made enemies with and who your allies are along the way. You can actually go to the menu and see what your reputation is with each faction, which is really cool. The crime system is a bit similar to those seen in Rockstar open world games, meaning you'll be building relationships and connections throughout the story, but ultimately, if you get caught committing a crime, there will be consequences from the Imperial troops stationed around the various planets. Completing or rejecting various contracts and jobs will improve or worsen your relationships with the various factions. Now, when it comes to the gameplay itself, I actually had a pretty fun time during my 4 hours played. If you guys know me, then you know that I like Legend of Zelda, and that means I like puzzles, and Star Wars Outlaws had the perfect amount of puzzles for me, as well as stealth combat and just straight up guns blazing action. I think a lot of you will like the the lockpicking minigame. There was also one puzzle that I did, which was basically Star Wars Wordle. Now, Nyx, your companion, is also super helpful. You're able to command Nyx to go around and sabotage things and distract various enemies while you're trying to sneak past. Nyx is also able to attack people by running up to them and detonate a bomb and just incapacitating them, which was a pretty cool dynamic. Like, as you're playing, you just kind of go around, and if there's like a puzzle or something you're missing, usually it has to do with Nyx. So definitely use that little guy to your advantage. He is definitely helpful. So next up, Star Wars Outlaws recently released their PC gameplay trailer, and in that trailer we got PC features and the specs revealed that were pretty robust. Now, according to the Ubisoft blog, they said this, and I quote, "Star Wars Outlaws launches on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S on August 30th. If you're getting ready to navigate the dangers of the criminal underworld on PC, you'll be able to take advantage of a wealth of features, including support for ultra-wide and multi-monitor setups, uncapped frame rates, image upscaling, and more." And then they provided us with a list of PC features and a range of specs to help you get the best performance possible from your hardware. Now, as soon as I jumped into the game for the first time on Star Wars Outlaws, I straight up went to the menu and I looked at all the settings. Like, that was the first thing I did. I didn't even get started with the gameplay. There was everything from ray trace global illumination, reflections, and shadows. There was the NVIDIA dynamic illumination, or RTX DI support. There was also the NVIDIA DLSS 3.5, which of course is ray reconstruction, frame generation, and super resolution. And I'm telling you, the second I saw frame generation, I'm like, okay, we are finally chilling. We don't have to wait for a mod to get frame gen. It's launching as a feature. There's also the Intel XeSS 1.3 and AMD FSR 3.0 for upscaling as well as frame gen. The customization options were pretty robust as well. Obviously, uncapped frame rate. You can also cap the frame rate in the game as well. The game also has support for 21:9 and then multi-monitor and ultra-wide support. Now, in terms of the PC specs, for minimum requirements for visual settings 1080p at 30 FPS, you'll need a GeForce 1660 or an equivalent AMD or Intel. For the CPU, you'll need an i7 8700K or the equivalent, which is the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. For the OS, you'll need Windows 10 or 11, and then the storage is at least 65 gigs. Now, the recommended for 60 FPS at 1080p is an RTX 3060 or equivalent AMD card, the Intel i5 10400, the AMD 5 5600X, and then for the OS and SSD, they're the same for basically every other setting. Now, the enthusiast specs for 1440p at 60 FPS and high presets with upscaler set to quality. The GPU, you'll need an RTX 4070 12 gigabytes or an AMD RX 6800 XT 16 gig. The CPU, you'll need an Intel i5 11600K or the AMD equivalent Ryzen 7 5800X. Now, for Ultra, for 4K 60 FPS with Ultra preset and upscaler quality set to quality, the GPU, you'll need a 4080 16 gig or the AMD RX 7900 XTX 24 gigabytes. The CPU, an Intel i7 12700K or the AMD 5800X 3D. So next up, we have some news regarding the post-launch roadmap for Star Wars Outlaws that has been revealed, which they provided all of the details. The 2 upcoming story packs are included in the season pass, they said, and those will also be available for standalone purchase. Now, at launch, season pass owners will obtain the Kessel Runner character pack with outfits for Scoundrel K. Vess and her companion Nyx, and get access to an exclusive mission called Jabba's Gambit. Now, all players will meet Jabba the Hutt in the main game, but those with the season pass will have access to an additional quest for the notorious Hutt cartel, just as K. Vess is putting together a crew for her big heist. She receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. Indy 5 owes the Hutts a debt from years ago, and Jabba has to come collect. Now, after launch, Star Wars Outlaws season pass owners will be able to continue their journey across the galaxy with 2 story packs. The first one being Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard, which is releasing in fall of 2024, where Kay is hired to infiltrate a high-stakes sabacc tournament, but as she crosses path with the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian, she soon learns that another game will be played. When the first story pack is released, season pass owners will also get the Hunter's Legacy bundle and the Cartel Ronin bundle, with an additional outfits for Kay and Nyx, plus cosmetics for Kay's speeder and her ship, the Trailblazer. Next up, Star Wars Outlaws A Pirate's Fortune, coming in spring of 2025, which sounds pretty intriguing. Now, throughout my time playing Star Wars Outlaws for about 4 hours, I actually had a pretty fun experience. Whether or not the game will hold up is to be determined, and we won't really know until launch. Let me know if you guys plan on picking up Star Wars Outlaws. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe with your notifications turned on so you're not missing out on any future gaming news. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.